Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to the post-market analysis of the 25th of July 2022, and we will be analyzing Nifty and Bank Nifty. We are on the 5-minute chart of Nifty as you can Bank Nifty as you can see here, and we will be analyzing Bank Nifty first today. And you can see that Bank Nifty had opened with a green candle, a strong green candle, the first opening green candle, and right before the market opens you should be able to mark out the important levels. Now what were the important levels given the price action on the 22nd of July? The important levels were, first is the previous day low, because we had seen a big bounce here from the previous day low, and then the other important level was the virgin CPR from that day. So if price were to open around this area on this particular day, then you should be watchful of that one level, and if this particular level was to be broken, then you should be watchful of the virgin CPR. Okay, that is if you are trading on the same principles as I trade and you're using the CPR and the pivot points. So first thing you should do is you should mark out the important levels. Now there was one more important level which should have been marked, was this particular level here, which was the level where Bank Nifty was taking a long time resistance, and then it was broken. It was broken by a single candle. When this candle had broken that particular resistance, all these sellers who were trying to push the price down were now trapped. So why were they trapped? Because they were in short positions, they were in open short positions here, and when price rallied like this, they had to exit their positions in panic, and in that panic, because they had to exit their positions, the market actually went up from there. So that was kind of a short covering on the previous day. So because of this, these trap traders, the market actually went up on the 22nd, and then there must have been traders who could not exit or did not exit their positions, who were staring at big losses, and when the market opened with a huge green candle, they were again in severe panic. But then the market suddenly reversed, right? And so they must have been happy that the market had reversed, and when the market came and hit this particular area, they again started to close their positions. Now if they are sellers here, what kind of price action would you see around this area whenever price came to it? Those sellers who are short, they will want to close their positions at break even, so they will start to buy, and their buying creates this kind of another rally here. So that was typically the price action that we saw in Bank Nifty today, and because of this particular rally, we also saw a rally today. You could see that there was a bottom that was created here. There was a long consolidation phase in Bank Nifty, and price actually could have gone either way, but even if price had gone down, there was this particular PDL to support price today in Bank Nifty. So now when price opened at the below the PDH, that is in yesterday's range here, then it opened and it closed right outside the R1 pivot, then it made these dojis, and then it made this particular strong red candle here. Okay, now these dojis, had they been made inside or within the range of the R1 here, then you could have taken a short in this particular candle, the red candle. That was the follow-up candle to the dojis here. Why would that be? Because the dojis have shown us, I mean this doji and this pin bar has shown us that price is being rejected on the higher levels. So if it is being rejected on the higher levels, it has to go somewhere, so it will go down, right? And if it goes down, then your best bet to book your profit would be the opening candles low here. But then see what happens is, if that strategy can be deployed if the particular index, say Nifty or Bank Nifty, is taking some resistance right at the R1 pivot. So that pivot should not be broken, but you could see here that the pivot was comfortably broken, although by a single candle, and then you could see that there is some resistance on the top. So in spite of this resistance, you could see that the R1 pivot was broken, and then price actually happened to reverse. So in this condition, actually the opening candle's low becomes the more important area here, and after the low is taken out, why? Because this is the breakout candle, right? This is the breakout candle from the R1 pivot. So from the R1 pivot, if the breakout candle has taken out the R1 pivot, then there are long traders who are trapped in this position also. So this red candle indicates that these trap traders will now lose their SLs here, and that is why the price came crashing down. but then the price got support and it kind of went into consolidation and then it boomed again, and I also told you why it boomed again. It was because of yesterday. So that was the style of, the kind of price action that we saw today. So one place where you could have traded had there not been a CPR here was this particular candle when it broke out of this candle's range, the low range, because all those long traders will have their SLs here and they will now be trapped. And that's why if you can short here and you can keep your SL on the top here, then you can have a 1:2 risk reward. But this particular candle was very big, so ideally you should have gone in with a 50% of the candle itself. So you could have entered at the 50% level of the candle with your SL on top here, and then you could have, had there not been a CPR here, you could have taken a 1:2 short kind of a trade here. So that was one way to trade Bank Nifty today, but since there was a CPR there was not really a very good opportunity to short that particular first candle. And again, as I just said, because the R1 was broken immediately and then price had reversed, had the R1 not been broken and R1 would have held as a resistance and price would have reversed after hitting the R1 immediately and shown this sort of a price action, then this particular candlestick setup is definite to be traded to the short side, where you can collect your profit at the day's first candle's low. And then you could see that afterwards there was nothing really in this particular price action to trade. This was a good period for opening straddles, and those people who would have opened straddles at this particular point at the CPR would have made good money today. And but then again the market shot up, and so you could see that after the market shot up, it again took resistance at around 2:30 p.m. It again went into a sideways zone here and then it again fell from there. Okay, depending on this sort of price action, let's see what sort of levels do we have today. We have an important level here, which is the Virgin CPR. Although it is not very wide, we will still extend it. And if it's not wide, then it's not very important, particularly after that second day immediately after the Virgin CPR is formed. And this is the gap which we will extend forward. And do we have any other important levels to mark here? We do have this particular demand zone here, so be watchful of it whenever price comes to that area. It is 36 to 86, that area, and we do have a very narrow CPR in Bank Nifty tomorrow. And so from today you could see that price has bounced from today's low also. So after hitting this low, price has bounced from here, so we'll mark that as a demand zone and we'll mark the top as a supply zone because price has fallen considerably from there. So let's mark a supply zone there and just measure what sort of fall we have seen here. The fall is somewhere around 550 points. Okay, so I think that's all for the levels that we need to be marking in Bank Nifty. We don't see any other important levels. We will just check out 15-minute time frame once to see if we see anything important here. We can see that there is a resistance zone here at this point. Intraday, this level might be important tomorrow because price has kind of gone up and then it took resistance towards the end of the day, right? And you could see that it has fallen again. So what you can do is you can mark this area out and you can mark it in a dotted line, which shows that you might see a particular reaction around that area. So it might not exactly be an important area, but if price comes to it immediately in the next trading session, you might be able to see some reaction around that area. So we are not sure if price will fall from there immediately because the main supply zone lies up here. Okay, but here since we've seen a good rally from here, but the rally could not sustain this level, it shows us that there is a resistance line there. Alright, so I think that's all for Bank Nifty. Let's head over to Nifty now. And this is Nifty for you. This is today's price action, 25th July. And you can see here that Nifty opened with a green candle, but it opened below the CPR. And you could see that the CPR was immediately providing some resistance to price here. So you can see here that the first 5-minute candle has been printed as a doji, a green doji candle. And then you can see that there is a strong red candle, which is a bearish pin bar right on the top. And if you see then the first, the previous session, the 22nd, you could see that there is a huge demand zone at the level of around 16,610. So that level we had already marked, which was the day low, and you could see that the day low was broken here at 9:50 a.m. and the price went further down, but immediately after that there was the Virgin CPR, and you can see how Virgin CPR has acted as a beautiful support today. It's been a fantastic support today. You could see how long price was taking support exactly at the Virgin CPR for such a long time. This entire zone after price reached the Virgin CPR, it kept fighting there, and you could see how the PDL was also acting as a strong resistance. So price was literally stuck between these two areas today for a long time. But then you can see when price reaches the Virgin CPR the very next day how powerful Virgin CPR can be, especially if it is averagely wide or averagely narrow but not very narrow. So this is not a very wide CPR, but it was an average kind of CPR and it has given a big bounce today. So whenever you see a good candlestick reversal pattern, you can go long on that candlestick by keeping your SL below it. So if this is a bigger SL, then you need to take your profit at least at the CPR level, because then you want to ensure that you are making a good profit at least, right? So you can actually go long here, or wait for a slight pullback towards the 50% of the candle, and then you can go long there. So you can have your SL below the CPR as well as the, or the Virgin CPR as well as the S2 pivot here, and then you can take your profit here at this particular level. So that would have been a good trade to take today. And you can see that this is the CPR providing resistance here. So this particular high also becomes an important area now, and this particular zone also becomes an important area now. So depending on that, let's start marking levels. And you could see this Virgin CPR is broken now, so we don't need that Virgin CPR anymore. We are extending the gap ahead, and we don't want to mark the Virgin CPR or the CPR of today as a Virgin CPR, because we can see that there are candles inside it, although there are more of wicks inside it. When we will mark it as a zone, as I just said, we will mark it as a supply zone. So what we will do is we'll mark it in red, this day high, and we will mark it as a solid line. So it's an important supply zone that, and we will also mark this particular area as a zone. But I believe the this particular area is not going to act as a very strong area, but nonetheless we will still keep it ready, and we can mark it in a dotted line also. That is also okay. So this particular zone is going to act as a strong resistance, I feel, when price comes to it, if it comes immediately tomorrow. And we can see here that this particular demand zone is no more necessary, but today's day low will also act as a strong demand zone now. So let's go ahead and mark that area. We will mark it in a green solid line like so. And do we see any other important levels? We will go to the 15-minute time frame. Let's do a higher time frame analysis here. So we've just extended the gap. We will also extend the Virgin CPR from the 20th of July going forward. We have the gap here, so this is one important area, and price is kind of trading close to the gap presently. So it's a very tight CPR in both Nifty and Bank Nifty tomorrow. We might be able to see a trending day tomorrow if price opens in an area where we don't see much of resistance. So anything above R2, and we might be able to see a good movement, but anything below S2 or S1 or PDL also tomorrow, and we might be able to see a gap filling tomorrow. So if price at least up to the S3 level, so price might fill this particular gap tomorrow if it opens below today's day low, and it might go down to the S3 pivot at least. So a partial gap filling might happen in Nifty tomorrow. Yes, so I think we've marked all the levels. We have also marked all the historical levels, and those levels should be carried forward. So please go ahead and collect those levels from Twitter. I will update them today on TradingView, and I'll update them on Twitter. So guys, that is it for today's price action analysis. I hope you have liked it. If you have, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time I post a new video. Thank you for your time, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.